Are you gonna play Outer Wilds?
Yeah, I'm gonna start a stream and
Sweet.
play
I'll
Outer
watch your
Wilds. Hi,
stream
this
then.
is On the Stick After Dark. I'm Eric. I'm here with my good friends Anthony
Hello.
and Mike.
Yeehaw! Call me Texas Mike.
He's in Texas, which is not
Right
normally
now.
where he is. So I'm gonna say up front that we're gonna spend maybe 20 or 30 minutes having a discussion about the Outer Wilds, which is this game that I'm streaming right now, and we're gonna probably spoil everything, or at least everything that we can think of.
I was gonna say I'm gonna leave when you get really close to the end of the game, but
Okay,
I'm like 80% of the way through.
so you just don't want to know specifically the end.
You might
I don't
want
want to know how.
first you might want to change the title of the stream.
I don't know if I can do that.
I definitely can't. Um,
But anyway,
could.
this
Like,
is just.
why
I'm going
don't-
to say one more time that there will probably be spoilers for
There'll be a lot of spoilers
the
because I
Outer
feel like
Wilds.
if you've
And the
played
Outer
more
Wilds-
than 10 minutes, you can potentially spoil someone because they might have just gone in a different
It's
direction.
true.
And the Outer Wilds is a really cool game. So if you're interested in it, and you maybe listen to it for like 5 minutes, but if you think it sounds cool, go play it rather than having us spoil it all for you because it's a really interesting, unique game.
It's true. It is both of those things. I wish I could remember how to do stuff. This YouTube interface sucks ass for live streaming stuff.
So where do we begin? Webster's dictionary defines Outer Wilds as
Uh huh. We should start
A
with.
sick ass space game.
what can you compare Outer Wilds to? Right? It's like an exploration. It's a puzzle game
Honestly,
at its heart.
yeah,
I would
it's
say.
more like a puzzle or an adventure game with like a non-linear storytelling. So, like in that aspect, it's almost more like Gone Home or Her Story or something like that. And that there is a story and a plot, but it is not presented to you in a linear fashion. So you're expected to just kind of go out into the world and dig up bits and pieces, and then sort of assemble the story yourself.
But the thing is, there's almost nothing in the game that you accumulate.
Right.
Right.
Well, just like those
Aside
two
from the
games.
launch-
Those games are both the
Aside
same
from the
way.
launch codes and a couple frequencies, there's effectively nothing that carries over from run to run.
Yeah, your computer will store like critical information that you've learned, so you can always reference it, or it'll like give you kind of a hint of where if you found everything in a location or not. But like, information that you've learned. Yeah, it's. I mean, Eric
You
and I
never
talked
get
about
like
this a little bit.
you never
It's
get
like
the better spacesuit that lets you go into the ghost matter without dying. Like
right. It's
you're not building a base.
I think you guys are right as far as like an adventure game, but I keep talking about
Or a puzzle
it's
box.
it's like one part to me. It's one part like the little aspect of Subnautica that is you can go wherever the hell you want and there are bits of story there, and so whatever is most interesting to you is the path you can follow. It's got that, but it's also got the the witness, where you literally don't get anything in the witness other than you have knowledge in your actual brain, which lets you do more things than you used to be able to do.
Yeah, you
This
learn
game is
things.
exactly the same way.
If you want to get past the scary space fish, it's not going to be because you got a better gun.
No, it's because you figured out how to deal with that.
Yeah, you didn't find the fish gun or the anti-fish spray. You didn't have to craft any of that shit. But yeah,
I mean, like
so
the tornado planet.
the very
when I
first
went
thing that
there, I
everybody
was-
kind of you do is you wake up, and then you have to explore this area with the aliens right off the bat, and that's how
Right.
you learn like all
Yeah,
the
your
basic
home base.
controls. Like there's a thing that will teach you how to fly your plane, a tutorial for that. There's a thing that will let you kind of experiment.
Teach you how to move around in
in
space.
zero G, and then you get the launch codes from the observatory, and you see a weird statue, and you don't know what the statue does exactly, except it makes some weird, cool effects happen. And then you get your launch codes, and you hop in your ship, and you can kind of go do whatever
Fly into
you
the
want.
sun.
Yeah, you can fly into the sun if that's the thing you
And
want to
I
do.
did. Over and over again.
It happens.
Mostly,
Happens
I
to the
just
best
forgot
of us.
to put my spacesuit on and then climbed out of my ship and then
nice.
suffocated,
I only did that once
which was cool.
because I pretty much always did exactly what you just did. I ran up and grabbed it,
Yeah.
and one or two times I didn't because I was like, nah, I'll do it whenever, and then I like totally forgot about it.
Yeah, so I mean, the game gives you this really compact, in a actual astrophysical sense, solar system.
What
but,
is that
but
thing?
thi- what is
Oops.
what thing?
I shit. I fucked
The
up.
thing you were just chasing, Eric.
It's one of the little pods. There's like a thing on the planet that shoots those little. There's like you have one of the things that you can do is I thought I was dead, but I'm not. Yeah.
Pretty close,
You know, one of the things you can do is you can shoot that little scouter thing,
right?
and that's what that is. There's one of those flying around the planet because that
Oh,
one
I
guy
see.
is
That's how you learn that you
exploring
can
that
send
crater.
your camera out.
Yeah.
Is that you can take pictures with the orbital camera in the
Right.
science center.
So yeah, you have a little
And
camera
they
that
get-
you can shoot out that takes pictures.
I just didn't realize it was moving around without like.
That's not mine. It's a different one. There was just
Right.
one orbiting the
But
planet.
I didn't realize there were other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can do
it
that. It
orbits the
also has
world.
it has a light on it, and there's like an obstacle that you can use you can use it to detect some obstacles and stuff. But anyway, so then you can hop in your ship and go do whatever you want, and then when you die for the first time, however that may be, you are sort of reset right back to where you started, except you have the knowledge of the codes for the ship,
The launch
so
codes.
you can get right
Because
back
the
on
game
your
would
ship
suck a
and
lot
go
if
out.
you had to go get the launch codes every time you died.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty much the only like nod to. Well, that was weird.
It's like the only upgrade that you get really is that knowledge.
Yeah, it's the only nod to like player experience. Because there are
Yes,
some
the game.
there are some frustrating bits that I'm like, I wish you had done things slightly
Nodded to
differently.
player experience a little bit. Yeah, so the game just expects you to figure stuff out, and sometimes it gives you hints, and sometimes it doesn't really give you hints, but you can kind of trial and error your way through. But it can be really frustrating because there are some things that only happen once in the 22-hour cycle that the game goes through. I mean, we might as well say at this point, like every 22 hours the sun explodes.
Yep.
Goes
Which is
supernova.
22 minutes in
20
real,
In
minutes,
real
sorry.
our
Yeah.
time, yes.
No, yeah, I don't remember how long it's supposed to be in the game, but it's 22. Actually, no, it's 22 minutes in the game as well, except that the day on your home planet is like 4 minutes long.
Right.
So that's fine.
I don't. Yeah,
But it
it's actually I
says
don't know what
22
it
minutes.
translates to in the game necessarily, but
In one of the logs, it says, "Can we make this last 22 minutes?"
okay.
Right.
So I know that much. Yeah. So and then you start over again, and there are things that are only available at one very specific part of that cycle, or within, let's say, the first 5 minutes, or only in the last 5 minutes.
Right. Some planets fall
so,
apart or change significantly as the cycle goes on.
And then at the end of the 22 minutes, even if you're like totally safe, the sun explodes and destroys the whole solar system. And then you wake up,
Yes.
and there you go.
But so it can be really frustrating at times when there's a thing that you want to do, and there's a lot of like space platforming in this game also. And if you mess up a jump or something and fall down and lose your one opportunity to do something, and then you don't have to necessarily do a full cycle, but you have to start over and get in your ship and fly to the planet and get to the spot, and that can occasionally be really frustrating.
Yeah, fortunately there's not a lot of those.
There's enough.
I didn't think there were. I'm on Eric's side on that. I don't think there were enough to really like be all that frustrating. Though I think I lucked into one or two of them.
I mean, there's some where I know
But-
that I got kind of lucky, and there are others where I know that I kind of didn't.
For me, it's more
certainly-
like I complained about the black hole that's in the middle of one of these planets, and
Mhm.
I
'Cause
fucking
it's
fell into that thing like 10 times.
It's
And
such a pain in the
super
ass.
super
Really?
annoying because like when you fall into it, you basically have to restart the cycle over, but you don't because it spits you out into a different part of space.
Where did the moon go?
You can what?
Yeah,
I said, where did this moon go? Sorry, I'm just talking about what I'm doing on this.
I know. I'm
Oh.
watching. I know. It's right there.
I'm gonna land on it this time for sure.
So it was like, if I could have just plunked down like one quick save or something,
Yeah.
that would have made all the difference to like if I fuck something up, or if it's like, or like the things Mike talked about. Like there's a thing where you're waiting the cycle. I mean, that did happen once when I tried to get on the sun station,
Yeah, there's times when
where
I would
I
like
just
to.
fucking launched myself into the sun on accident,
Uh-huh.
and it was like I waited this whole stupid cycle for this one moment, and then
Yeah, you gotta start
didn't
over
stick the
again.
landing.
Yeah.
And if I could have just had a quick save,
Yep, a quick
I wouldn't
save
be
or
mad.
a way to accelerate through the time cycle a little bit
Right.
would be nice.
Yeah. Say like, could you get me the last 5 minutes so that I can climb the damn quantum of knowledge tower?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I will say, I know you guys have both been really loving this game. I'm not someone who enjoys figuring out puzzles as much as you two, I think. And so there are times when I just kind of want to know what the next fucking thing to do is, and I kind of lose patience with it. So I've definitely looked up some hints here and there, like I said, I'm about 80% of the way through the game, and I think I'm getting to the point where my patience is kind of blown. So, at this point, it's like I will try a thing twice, and then after that, I'll just text Anthony and get him to tell me what
I
the
was gonna
answer
say, if you
is.
want to know how to finish it, well, like we could just tell you how to do it.
Yeah, well, I don't want to know. Like, I would like to. What I love about this game is the discovery, because we haven't really talked about it much, but this game does some incredible
Right.
things,
You
some
mentioned
incredible
it that it's
experiences.
basically a miniature functioning solar system with a sun and a bunch of planets orbiting it that all have
But the
different
planets are
weird
all really
properties.
cool.
Yes, the planets are all
They
really
are.
They're
cool.
all like there's so much stuff happening on every one of those planets, and some ideas that I would just was not expecting, and they're incredibly creative in some ways. So I love that aspect of the game.
So, what was your favorite planet, Mike?
Because that's where we're gonna go.
God, I'm not sure. I think what maybe impressed me the most was one of the first times I was exploring Brittle Hollow,
That's
in
where we're
like maybe
going.
halfway through the cycle, as I was watching like huge chunks of the world fall into this black hole and disappear all around me, and then realized that if I went through the black hole, they would be there
Hmm.
on the other side. I just that sense of the world falling into pieces, but it doesn't just disappear the way it would in most games. It goes somewhere,
Right.
and
Right.
I think that that's one of the things that really impressed me the most. But I mean, also the first time I realized that the sand column was coming up on me on Ash, no, Ember Twin, and I didn't know
Yep.
what it was, and I was like, "Holy shit, what's going on? I gotta
That
move."
was my favorite place. Were the two
I was
twins.
actually mad at Waypoint because one of the most impressive vistas in the game is the first time you go through the cloud layer on Giant's Deep, and they use that as their screenshot for their review of the game. So even though I hadn't read the review, I'd already seen what it looked like, but it was still pretty impactful.
Oh, I had no idea. It's like we kind of avoided. So I play this with Abby, who's my wife, the whole time, and like we've avoided Giants Deep for the longest time for whatever reason. And finally, we're like, all right, well, we're gonna stop for the night. Maybe we're expecting it to be like crazy, so we'll just like go there and look at it, and then I'll probably die right away, and then that'll be that. And then like we were not prepared for those clouds parting, and there's like tornadoes everywhere, and we just crashed into the water. And man, that was an insane. That was an insanely good moment.
Or the first time you're standing on one of those islands, and then you're like, "What? Why is there no atmosphere? What's
Yeah, right,
happened?
right.
Why am I underwater again?"
Yep.
As the whole thing gets lifted up and then deposited back in the ocean. I'm trying to think of the other moments that really struck me. Um, I don't know. There are definitely some other ones, but
I mean, when you
it's
figure
impressive
out
in that
where
way.
the harmonica playing person is,
Yeah,
like
I have,
they're
Yep,
like,
I have
that's a
not
good
she
one.
finished.
disappeared a long time
Yeah,
ago and we don't know where they are. And then you can hear the harmonica, but it's like a million kilometers away and it doesn't make any sense. And it's
Right,
also
right.
it's like on a bunch of different places and also on your home planet and you're like, what the fuck? Why
Yep,
does
yep.
this doesn't make any sense? They can't be in four different places at once and also on this planet and also so many kilometers away that it would like is outside of the solar system.
Right.
I don't think I ever noticed that it was that far away. I only ever found it on the home planet and on the Bramble.
Yeah,
Uh,
it shows as being like really far away. I'm pretty sure
Okay, that Bramble's creepy.
the dark
yeah,
bramble is
fuck
very
that
creepy.
place. That's my least favorite place.
That place sucks a lot, and I've spent way too much time there.
Yep.
And I have to go back too because I'm not done with the vessel. Which ugh. Yeah, that place sucks so bad. That's
I
the
think
place where the Mega Man 2 anglerfish eats you over and over again.
See, I had no problems with it until there's a thing that you have to do there at the end of the game, and it took me like 3 hours to finish it because I couldn't get past the anglerfish the second time and couldn't figure out
even
why.
though you did the first time.
Yeah, I did it really easily the first time. Actually, we forgot to mention the most important part of this game. Is that
Is it that you can roast
is that you
marshmallows?
can roast marshmallows. You can
Oh yes,
you can
at
roast them
any
perfectly.
campfire.
Yes, at any campfire, and
Maybe,
all your
maybe you can.
there's a whole bunch
I
of
haven't roasted one.
your race of people around, and they all have instruments, and you have a thing that lets you listen, and so you can locate them by the sounds that they make. And they all
Every
have
astronaut
campfires.
carries a musical instrument into space and plays it wherever they go.
Yeah, and it's very lonesome and like cowboy camping sounding. The song that they play.
Cowboy camping in space.
Yeah. That's actually like the thing that drew me to this game the most in the first place was just the overall aesthetic of it being like these like backwoods country people that have access to this rocket technology that's not very good, but the solar system is like so small that they can like it's good enough for them to get around.
I mean, it's worth saying you're an alien that comes from like the foresty planet in this solar system, and all of your ship and all your stuff is made out of wood.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's something really cool also about the fact that they've shrunk down the solar system to a small scale, but it's all there. So you just hold down the trigger on your controller, you lift off the planet, and then the whole planet is there, and you can fly around it, go to any part of it and land, or fly off to another planet. And it only takes you 3 minutes to get to whatever the other planet is. But there's something really cool about how there's no fudging of anything aside from the fact that it's tiny.
I can't remember the name of it, but I remember there's a game that was hyped up on like it was either the original PlayStation or PlayStation 2 that was like you're gonna be able to fly anywhere in the galaxy and like
I was gonna say like Ratchet and Clank 3 had round planets.
Yeah, this was pre-Spore, but it was kind of the same like you could go where you want and everything will be there. And like you know like obviously nobody pulled that off back then, but like this I did like briefly return to whatever age I was when I first read that, and I was like, oh man, this is pretty sweet.
And this game does that, and it also looks kind of like a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah.
Kind of, yes.
But with really good art design.
I think it looks like a PlayStation 2 era PC game more than a PlayStation 2 game.
It looks like an HD remaster of a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah.
I think that yes.
Which is a good thing.
But one that had a really solid art style to begin with.
Yeah, I mean it works for it. It's not I think it's a very fine looking game. Like you said, part of the reason why it's so much fun to explore these planets is because the art design is so good. Like the way that the purples and blues inside of this
space they have.
The space and these fucking sick ass black holes.
When we first started the game and we were wandering around the forest planet, my wife was like, "We played this already." I was like, "No, we didn't." She's like, "Yes, we did. It's that game about camping." And I was like, "No, you mean Firewatch?" And she's like, "Yeah, isn't that what this is?" I'm like, no. But I can kind of see it.
Yeah, because they're cartoony and outdoorsy.
Yeah, it's got the same Team Fortress 2 kind of like big, chunky sort of.
Huge hands.
Yeah, big hands, real big hands.
Except for the part where there's aliens and spaceships everywhere.
Well, yeah, right. Well, we hadn't gotten to that yet. This is in first person.
So here's the pieces
you meet characters pretty fast.
The brittle hollow that have fallen apart and gone through the black hole into the white hole on the other side.
Could be creepy when you think about it.
It's pretty crazy. But
I also appreciate how much they do with the size of the solar system they have, because every single planet is completely packed with details.
Right.
Yeah.
There's almost no wasted space anywhere in the game that isn't just space.
Right.
Right.
Well, there was part of the story is that there was a race of creatures that landed in the solar system, and they have this weird spiral writing style that they use, and your character has invented a device that can translate the writing, so you're the first of your species to be able to read what this sort of precursor
you didn't
race
make it. You're
wrote.
Just the first person who got one.
Yeah.
You're the first astronaut who was given one of these translators.
Right. You didn't. It's one of the guys on the planet, right? Is the one that made it.
Yeah.
I thought it was this character was the one. I think they say that you're the one that made the thing, but I could be wrong about that. It's been like months and months since I started this now, a couple months. So
Yeah, the spiral writing is kind of like an online message board where everyone can just contribute to the writing, and it goes off in branches in different directions, and so you get a conversation
right, there's
with
one that really
three
loves
or four
puns,
characters.
which I got a real kick out of, obviously.
There's a couple who like more power.
But yeah, you get like a real feel for like sort of the personalities of some of the different characters just by the writing that they left behind.
Yeah, it was never. It was never clear to me like if those that other race, that other species were, if there were like five of them in the in the solar system, or if they had like crashed here and settled and like had generations, because there were ones that like talked about how they were younger, but I didn't know like if there were tons of them or just like a few, and they
Well, they
just
were
had
there long
extremely
enough.
long lives.
Yeah, they were there long enough for some of them to grow up. In
Right.
particular, so you know that when you eventually make it to the quantum moon, you actually meet a quote unquote living Nomai, right? And that guy is Solinum. And in the city that it took me forever to find in Brittle Hollow, you can actually find his writing as a
Mm-hmm.
kid and as an adult in
Yep.
that same
Right.
city.
Right.
So at least one generation grew up in the solar system,
Yeah, I think
and
it's
it
like
kind of sounds
multiple
like maybe more.
generations because they talk about how they've sort of like lost the ability to, like, they don't know how to repair the vessel or how to build the warp
Yeah,
cores. It's like a big
and they
deal
and
when
they
they
use
rediscover that. There's like one specific of them, one specific Nomai that is like able to like harness the old vessel warp core technology, and that's how they're able to build the thing that um,
Right.
yeah.
lets you
I think they keep
travel
it down
through
to like
time.
The thing
a
that
dozen
Mike hasn't
names.
found yet.
Just maybe could be. There's still stuff I haven't found, but I think they keep it down to like a dozen names so that it's just easier for the player to have some idea
Yeah.
Yeah, for
who's
sure.
talking
And
about what.
it was totally like it could have been like
I mean, it's pretty
they're just
small.
the
Like even your
researchers and
species, which
scientists
is
that
an
went.
extant like species of people, it only there's like 15 people on your planet, and that's it. So
Right.
Exactly, and a third of them are astronauts.
yeah, yeah.
I would say the thing that you were just standing on, like figuring out how the teleporters worked, was one of my like biggest aha moments
Mm-hmm.
when we like got here. Um, because
Here,
we had
where?
like to the White Hole station where
Yes.
I'm watching Eric stream.
Oh,
Like
yes,
when I
right.
figured out how that worked finally,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's not gonna work right now, Eric, because you don't have the
Huh.
station
Yeah, I know.
orbiting.
I know. I know.
Um, but that was like,
I'm just kind of waiting around to die because I don't have my ship.
oh, I
I don't have.
well,
There's
yeah,
not a
because
lot
this
else
is
for
what
me to
happened
do.
like 10
Yeah.
times. There's nothing. You go here and then like it takes forever, and yeah.
And you haven't
Um,
talked to the guy who teaches you how to meditate yet.
yeah.
I don't. I
Did you
never
start a new
literally
game?
finished the game. Never met that guy. I don't know what that is.
You met him. You just have to say the right thing to him. It's the guy on Giants Deep, the other one who knows that you're in a time loop.
Uh huh. I mean, there's a thing in the menu that
Um,
just lets you can just quit and go back to the main thing and start over again.
well, you
Which
can
is
quit, but you ask him at some point, like, how do you deal with the fact that we're caught in a time loop where the universe keeps
I must have
exploding?
missed that
And he
dialogue
says, "Oh,
option.
I meditate." And at that point, after you ask him that,
Uh huh.
at any point you can select the menu and just start a new cycle without quitting the game.
Maybe I didn't see. So I did this
what
weird thing.
I didn't find that either.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, you didn't?
I
I
did
thought
this
you told
weird
me that you
thing where I
did.
played a bunch of it and then we streamed it, and so I was like, oh, I'll start over at the beginning, not realizing that it would completely erase my previous save. And
Right.
so I started over, and so there was like a lot of stuff that I kind of like zipped past because I'd done some of it, but not all of it, and so I think I missed some of. I definitely missed that, obviously. But
No, I definitely talked to that guy, but he never. I didn't. I never got that option.
It wasn't the first time that I talked to him. It might, I don't know, maybe it was
well, maybe I'll
after
go
I
there now and get
discovered
it. Let's go
that
see.
the sun, that the sun was exploding. Because at some point you have to confirm that the sun is exploding and go talk to the guy on Ember Twin who is very calm at the beginning of the cycle and then starts freaking out as it gets closer to the end.
Oh, really? I see. I didn't talk to the
I
I didn't talk
didn't
to the
talk to
people
any.
more than a couple of times.
Nope. Yeah,
Once I
same. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
exhausted
didn't.
the dialogue options.
I
if you go
talked to the.
early, he's like, "Oh, the suns are exploding. They must have been older than we thought." And if you go towards the end, he's like, "Oh my God, it's all over."
Well, all right. I did see that one because he's the one that notices how many supernovas are in the night sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I talked to. Yeah, I definitely talked to that guy, but I didn't realize that he does that if you go back sooner. Which is funny because we were saying that that should have happened, but some of the
Yep,
other
it totally
people
happens.
don't.
What
I
was
mean, I
it?
made a beeline for this once and smashed into that thing orbiting the planet. It
The
was the
Nomai,
worst.
the catapult.
Yeah, I was so mad.
If you're going
I was like,
fast
"All right,
enough, you can actually smash through the outer layer of the thing.
hmm,
You don't
The probe
actually.
launcher?
Yeah. No. You can smash through the first layer of the core of the Giant's Deep if you're going fast enough. I got an achievement for it. It's really fast
Oh, really?
though. It's like 1,200 kilometers a second or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. You brute force it.
Yes.
You survive?
Yep. Your
Okay.
I
Well,
think
good
your
for
ship
you.
gets pretty fucked up.
I had said when we first figured out there's something down there that, well, maybe later we'll try to go faster and break through if we can't figure out how to do it. And we, moved on to other
Right.
things.
And then you find out. I got in there by accident the first time because I hit the tornado that was spinning backwards.
Hmm.
But there was like that's the thing is like all the different weird mechanics that let you access the hidden bits, the hidden nooks and crannies on each planet are like there are places on all of the planets that will sort of explain those mechanics to you if you poke around enough.
Yeah.
There's like
Right.
literally a
Usually know
station
my
on a different
writing.
planet that is like the tornado station that shows you how the tornadoes work and how they access the core and
Which, which to Mike's point about puzzle solving, there were some things where I would like kick, I'd like kick the tires on things and like play around with it and try like more or less figure out like how to do the thing that I was trying to do.
yeah.
And then I would go to some other planet several hours later and have it like walked through very simply, and I was like, "Yep, I got that. Thanks."
I mean, it's nice. They do give you hints for stuff in multiple places, so you don't necessarily have to go
Yeah,
in an
exactly.
exact specific order. So that's good. But every once in a while, I manage to miss something and then be really frustrated by it when I finally figured it out.
Yeah, a lot of times, like as the number of things that there are to find and discover sort of dwindles, it can get a little frustrating sometimes. Like when you're trying to do something specific,
Right.
and the
Certainly,
time.
when you spend an entire cycle and don't find anything, that gets pretty tiresome.
Yeah. Um,
Or like, I think also, you know, because there's so much physics involved in the platforming, I spend a lot of time too just being like, am I supposed to be able to get up there? And then,
yeah. I
try
know
to
there
pull it
was.
off and it doesn't work. And then maybe I'll try to
Yeah,
bring the
that's what I
ship
mean. Like,
back.
if
And
if not a if not a quick save function, then at least like you could rewind time for 10 seconds, something. So if you miss a jump, you don't have to go through the whole damn cycle.
yeah, it would be, yeah, you know what? A rewind would be
Have
pretty
you
sweet.
have you caught that before, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I just did.
All right.
What did you catch?
Well, the stream is behind
What did you catch?
I kind of
I
flew
can't
by
see the
it a
stream.
little
the
bit.
probe.
But the probe that gets the
Oh,
probe that you're looking at, you can follow it like out of the solar system.
I've tried chasing it and I didn't think I could catch up with it.
You can.
So,
I
is that a
just
thing that I should do?
I don't know that
No.
there's any upside to it. It lets
Yeah,
you
you
go.
don't. Yeah, it's interesting to like see it up close,
Yeah.
but you don't actually like learn or get anything from it.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
It's just like I did it pretty much exactly what Eric did on the stream. I like just happened to be flying in the same direction and caught up to it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it was one of the times. It was the first thing I did, and I tried to catch up to it, but it didn't seem like I could, so I give up. That's the thing, is that sometimes in this game you can't tell if it's the thing that you're doing wrong or if you just
Right.
can't do it at
And
all.
that's
So.
and that comes with the territory of this sort of game.
I know, but I don't have the same level of patience for it that you do. Also, I think you're very lucky to have had someone to kind of backseat puzzle solving.
Yeah, it
You're
was.
right, 'cause I
This
think
game was super fun to play with another person the whole way through, because we were like both. It was both like you should try this, or like, hey, I want to go do this time because I don't know what to do this cycle. And you had like another person like, oh, I wanted to follow up on this, so like, okay, sure. But also, it was fun to like have someone to theorize about what was going on,
yeah.
like why the sun was exploding.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were just like,
I don't have 100% of the answer to that yet.
yeah, I won't say. But it
Well,
was
I mean, I
fun to
can.
like guess, and it was also fun for me to like when I first said that, she was like, oh, I hadn't even thought about why. And so then
Yeah.
and then we like talked about it like as we were flying around, like, shit, what could it be? So that was a really good experience. Would recommend.
Well, actually, maybe I do know why. I don't know. Well, I don't know if you want to confirm or not, but I mean, I learned that the
Let's hear your
comet flying
theories,
around
Mike.
was.
I'm really curious to hear because I wish I had had somebody to bounce some of my crazy theories off of when I was playing it. Because like the things that I thought were happening were I was like maybe like 60% of the way there, but were maybe even crazier than some of the stuff that happens. But
All right. Well, I got a lot of gaps, but I know that the Nomai were traveling in a group of ships because they're mostly nomadic and they have these vessels that they move around with. And one of the ships detected the signal from the eye of the universe and said, "Hey, this is older than the universe. That's pretty cool." And so they went off to find it. But then when they arrived in the solar system, the ship got snagged by the bramble. It ejected a couple of escape pods. Two of them made it away, but one of them didn't and wound up inside the bramble, where everyone died. A very kind of chilling scene
yeah,
when you come
very
across those
dramatic.
It's
The
a
people.
very
first time you come
specific
across
theory you
that.
have here.
Well, he's seen a lot.
um,
I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
you're right near.
um,
You're like right at the end then, pretty much.
He
I
really
know
is.
I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
I know I'm pretty close. So then the people that remained, they started building settlements, and they wanted to find the eye of the universe, but they also kind of wanted to, be able to move again. But like you said, they'd lost their warp core technology, and so let's see. They built the probe launcher and sent out something like 10,000 probes, and one of them managed to locate the eye of the universe, and I have its coordinates in kind of know my numbers, which I don't really know what to do with just yet. And they also rediscovered warp technology by using the black hole. And in the process of doing so, they realized that things that went through the black hole like reappeared earlier than they came out. So they were going backwards through time. And they have some kind of project in order to initiate a 22-minute time loop, which I think is involved with the Ash Twin project, which I have not actually gotten inside of yet. And I know that they have all the statues in there that record people's memories and kind of that seems to be what keeps you alive whenever the cycle restarts. Is that you and that one other
Don't do it, Eric.
person, that one
What?
other person of your race,
Don't do it.
both got synced with these statues. And I do know that somebody else out there is synced with the statue too, because there's three of them that have been activated, but I don't know who it is.
I mean,
Um,
that you could figure out now. You don't have to actually finish the game to figure that part out. If you just think about it a little
uh,
bit, and maybe a thing that happens early in the game, it'll kind of come
what's
to
early
you.
in the game?
Uh,
Early in the cycle,
I'm not going to say any
or
more
like
than
the
that. I'll
beginning?
let you figure it out. But
Yeah.
at least my theory is that that's what that is, but I don't know for sure.
I think
Hmm.
you're right.
Yeah.
All right.
There's only
I'm not.
one
Anyway,
thing that makes
Well,
sense.
once Michael leaves, we'll talk in more
All
detail.
right. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And so I'm at the point now where I have the coordinates for the eye of the universe, and I talked to Solanum on the quantum moon,
Right.
who is
How about the
kind of,
first time you
he's
figure out how to land on the quantum moon?
Oh, I didn't exactly. So Anthony knows how this happened, right? So I went to the quantum place on Giant's Deep, where they teach you that if you take a picture of something, it won't move.
Right.
And I also knew that like I had found the place where if you turn the lights off and you're standing on a quantum rock, it'll move you around. So I knew the quantum moon was there, and I had to get on it to take a picture of this thing. But I thought the picture had to be like kind of continually updating, because I didn't think if I took a picture of it 2 minutes ago, it would stay put. Um, because I tried flying into the moon, and you just fly right through it. I'm like, well, if I'm looking right at it and flying into it, why am I not landing on it? So I thought you had to do something fancy. So I found the quantum moon locator, which is on Ember Twin, I think. And I'm like, oh, this is the secret. There's this doohickey on Ember Twin that always points at the quantum moon. I'm going to stick my camera, my beacon thingy on it, and use that to take pictures of the moon. And it's always going to be looking at the moon because it follows it around. And I'd get in my ship and start flying towards the quantum moon. And then I would, like, the
Fuck
link to
this
the
part,
camera would
Eric.
stop working.
What?
This is the worst part of the whole game.
What's he doing?
This one room. He's in the room where you enter, and there's 3 anglerfish.
Oh, yeah. You know what
I
the secret
died
there is?
so many times. Just
Don't do
move.
anything.
I
Yeah.
know, but
You'll
you
coast
know,
right through the jaws of one of them, and you'll be fine.
you'll coast right through 90% or 70% of the time. The other 30% you hit part of them, and they eat you.
Yeah, those things fucking suck.
Do you guys know
Anyway,
you can
so
use the camera thing to distract them a little bit.
I tried, and
I
every time I tried, it
tried
was
that
too
too.
late.
Yeah, you have
Every
to
time
do
I
it
tried, they would hear me
preemptively because
fire it and it would-
otherwise they'll come towards you. But if
Right.
it zips past them first, then they'll follow it instead of you.
Oh, so you can use it to move them away. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good to know when I have to go back.
I didn't have
Anyway,
I didn't have
so-
great success doing that, but it does work. See,
So I
the-
take it you're not looking at the stream.
No, I can't see it from where I am.
So
huh? What are
the
these things?
center of this place
Uh huh.
Yeah,
has
kind
the
of like nucleus.
yeah. You were talking about nucleus. Abby's theory is those are anglerfish eggs.
Yeah, that's mine too.
Uh,
That's what I think.
well, my theory is that it's a huge ass waste of time, and it made me very mad.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, there's nothing there.
What do you mean
but
there's
anyway,
nothing
Eric,
there?
to
There's this
summarize-
fucking nest of
I
anglerfish
mean,
eggs.
it looks cool.
Like that's
Yeah.
the best
Eric, To
shit.
summarize, it took me way too long to get on the quantum moon because I was out thinking the problem basically.
Where you were
And
trying
Anthony
to
was
like
just
take
take a picture
multiple
of it like a
pictures or
minute ahead of
something?
time, and it won't move, and you can land on it.
Ah, I see.
Anyway, I got real mad because I thought if I'm looking right at it when I land on it, it shouldn't disappear. His theory was that the clouds were obscuring the moon itself, and so I wasn't actually looking at it. I don't see how using a camera to look at the clouds makes that any better, though. Anyway, it made me really mad, and there have been a couple
Well, I
times
mean,
when
at the
like,
beginning, I noticed when Eric started 1 or 2 cycles ago, the moon was right there, and it disappeared when his character blinks.
Yep.
when you blink,
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
Really?
True. Yep.
yeah,
but it doesn't do that if you fly towards it. It just
because you're not blinking.
Right.
But maybe
got
you
4
blink
eyes.
when you get close
You
to
don't-
it.
You don't blink them all at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so by talking to Solemn on the quantum moon, it seems like kind of right now my theory is that the game will end when I get myself inside the eye of the universe, because something will happen.
Okay.
But that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
I know
you're
I know that I have.
You're far enough along that you have enough information to kind of figure out what's happening. Like I had some crazy I thought that because of the way that the Nomai built things, I thought they lived in time loops. And that was why their
Oh.
writing was all spirally, because everything that they did was looping, and that was why they all lived. Not that they built the machine that let them transfer their consciousness back 22 minutes, but that was just how they lived, which was why they were constantly, must be, because there's weird things that that would make more sense about the way that the the sand place fills up and then empties constantly.
Yeah.
If they were always trying to build as much as they could before it refilled itself back up again, and then the
or
loop would
brittle
end
hollow,
and then they could
how
start
do they
over
live in this
again.
place if it's constantly falling apart.
Right, that's what I couldn't figure out, if that rebuilds itself or
Will that make
or maybe
more
it just
sense to me when I
doesn't
finish the game?
maybe they were the ones that did that, because they're the ones that put the black hole in there in the first place, right?
Yes.
So I
Were
don't
they?
think that was like that originally, and then they like hollowed it out and ruined it, and that's why it's falling apart. And then it's called brittle hollow because that's what. Well, I guess they call it that too. So I don't know.
Because it's
but,
brittle and hollow.
Yeah. So I don't know for sure, but that's
they
that's kind of what I
definitely-
thought.
Well, they also, I mean, I think there's, to your question, Mike, I don't think there's ever a definitive answer,
Right.
but I
Okay.
feel like the sun exploding kind of like sets other things off like preemptively
Right.
because
I thought that they
they
were
also-
blowing the sun up on purpose in order to like generate energy for something, and I thought that like all of the other nomai in the universe, the other like nomad tribes had also found like eyes of the universe or something similar in their like corner, and they were doing the same thing, and that's why there's all those supernovas as the time goes on.
Oh, interesting.
That was
Yeah,
kind of
that
what
part
my
doesn't
theory
make sense
was.
to me because my current understanding is that it was the ghost matter inside the comet that was making the sun explode. There was
So
some kind of weird egg thing inside the comet that exploded.
There is, and that's what wiped out the Nomai, but that didn't blow up the sun. It just like sent the crazy ghost matter energy wave out throughout the solar system that wiped out the Nomai in the first place.
I thought they said something about how it would be really bad for the sun. Maybe they were saying it would be really bad if it got near the sun.
I think that's what they
Because
say.
it would,
I
because it
don't.
would
Maybe
Yeah,
I
release the
could be
ghost
wrong
matter.
yes,
about
that's
that.
exact.
But
No,
I think
no.
that's
Eric's
what they
right
said.
about that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I still don't know why the sun's exploding, I guess. Except that very suspicious
You'll find out it
platform
when you
orbiting
finish
the
the
sun does
game.
not seem
It'll
to be
make
the
sense
cause.
when you finish the game.
Yeah. So, knowing what you know about what I know, where do you think I should go next? The one obvious place I have not been to is the Black Hole Forge.
Yeah, you need to go there.
Yep.
If you haven't been there,
All
you
right,
should
let's
do
just
that. And then
can we just talk about this? I know that it involves teleporters and the White Hole Station, but like, and I can see that there's an upside down place where the black hole the forge is. It's like they're living on the inside of the planet. It
right,
looks
that's
like
the
from where
forge
I'm.
itself that you have to go to.
Yeah.
Is up there.
So if I want to get in there, I need to teleport from somewhere, I guess.
Um,
You need to
there's a
go pull that switch.
Yeah, there's a switch that you have to push.
and which
The
Mike
switch that
told me he's
raises up
found. Yeah.
the switch
So
that
you-
raises up the big section.
Right, you have to do that,
Yes.
and then you can
So
just
you have
get
to
in there.
do that,
Yeah.
and then you have to. Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah, I think I do.
Then you have to fly to the Hourglass Twins and teleport.
Yep.
Oh, you have to go from the Hourglass Twins once that thing is up.
Yepper.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I tried doing it from the White Hole Station and it didn't work.
Well, the White Hole Station is not the right place to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if
You
you
have to-
try teleporting from the Hourglass Twins without raising it, do you like run into it and die or something?
There's just nothing there.
Right. This
Like,
you
it's
have
just-
to hit the
it's just-
switch first because that's what raises the black hole.
That brings
forge.
the interesting part to the teleporter.
Right. Otherwise,
Yes,
there's
because
kinda
otherwise
nothing
you're
to
just
do.
on like a platform and there's nothing to do
Yeah.
there.
Okay, good. Happy to hear it. I'll try that next
Yeah.
time I play.
I mean, and then
'Cause I-
after that, pretty much everything you need to do is on the Ash Twin. Basically, I'll tell you
Really?
that much
Okay.
after that.
Oh, because I need to get inside and see the project,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
Have you been on the Sun
So-
Station?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
We-
I don't think there's anything left there.
no.
we got into the Ash Twin project area super early in the game.
Oh, really? I had to look up
Uh-huh,
how to
on-
get in there because I couldn't figure out how to make the teleporter work.
So I won't. I'm not gonna say specifics how because
Yeah, I'm not gonna either.
Mike.
we'll
but
let Mike
the
look
way
that up on
so
his own.
knowing how you do
When
it.
you get frustrated, Mike, just ask and I'll tell you how to do it.
So knowing how to do it, you can see how a set of circumstances may have made me like just randomly like
Yeah.
go to the right place at the right time.
Well, so I found some things that made me think that the Ash Twin was really important. And so I specifically held off from going there until I'd explored most of the rest of the stuff in the solar system.
Mm.
You're like, this is the end game.
Yeah,
See,
that's
why we
how
didn't
I
go to
felt
Dark
about it.
Bramble and Giant Steep because I figured that's where like
Dark Bramble was
scary
the first
stuff
place I
wasn't
went
there for.
because I was like,
Yeah, I
Fuck
was gonna
that.
say I went to Dark Bramble almost right away.
this place
I think
looks
one of the
crazy and
first
I don't
things
know
I
what
did
it
was-
is, and I have to see.
Well, one of the first things I did was lift off with my ship, and I saw the crater, and I'm like, I'm gonna go check out the smoking crater on Timberhearth.
Yeah,
And then I talked to that guy, and I fired my probe inside.
Yeah,
and
I
it
did
showed up
that.
in Dark Bramble. So
I
I think
just
did I get eaten? I don't know if I got eaten by a fish the very first cycle or not. I
I
remember.
For me, I had internalized it as closer to the sun was gonna be nicer and easier, and so further
Hmm.
from the sun was the scary place, and therefore that was gonna be like more end game kind of stuff. So I tried to do it in sort of order, and instead, like, did the end game stuff pretty early.
I know one of my very first deaths came from being sideswiped by the Hollow's lantern, which was a real surprise.
Uh-huh.
Did you
And
guys both
another one
find
was
the
from
thing on the Hollow Lantern?
I have not
No.
landed on
I don't know
the
what you're
Hollow's
talking
lantern.
about.
All right.
I went there and didn't find anything, but apparently I missed
There's a
something.
little thing. It's not a big important thing, but there's a
Right,
little thing
right.
that it kind of explains a few like little details.
I should go look for it.
But actually, the beauty of this game is that there is no end game anything.
No,
You
no,
can just
yeah,
go
yeah,
do
yeah,
whatever
sure,
the hell
right,
you
right.
want. It's just like I said,
It's a
I
real
just
her
happened to
story.
come across the thing that was
Well-
like made me think that the most important thing was on the Ash Twin, and then I figured I would need to.
Do the rest. First.
Arguably, it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think the beauty of this game is I felt like a lot of times I was going and exploring places and then just getting information from people that had already
Yep.
explored and figured out the interesting thing. But then the end of the game is you have all of the knowledge they had.
Yep.
Now what do you do with it?
Yep.
And you have to figure out like
They got you
how to pull it.
99% of the way there. You just have to.
But that 1% is
Yeah.
100% like how do you get to the end of the game, and what do you need to do that? There is no signpost because those people all died out before that.
Right.
And I thought that was super cool. Like it like prepared me for it. And so then I was like, okay, well,
Now it's my
I
turn.
think I do these things, and yeah, I was right.
Time to go where no Mai has gone before.
Mm, time to go where no Mike is
Uh huh.
gone
Gone
before.
yet.
Texas.
I have heard it said that you can finish the game without leaving Timberhearth. Very curious to see what that means.
Well, that's because there's like teleporters and stuff on Timberhearth.
Oh,
yeah,
you just go stand on the thing
Yeah.
until you teleport somewhere.
You can actually. I believe that there's like speed runs of the game where people beat it without encountering the Nomai statue the first time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you
They
can.
beat it in one loop.
You can. Yeah, you can pull. That seems really difficult to me, but.
Speed runs.
Yeah. Speedrun people are crazy. I
Yeah,
mean, the
I
game.
don't- I
This
don't
game
tend to use
is.
the
This game specifically is designed with that in mind, though. I think. Like it's designed so that like everything, all the tools are there so that you could do it that way if you wanted to. You just don't know how to do it off the bat.
And you don't even have a choice because, like we said,
Right.
there's nothing persistent between your runs except for the launch code.
The only way to learn is by doing.
What's funny is, like in Giant's Deep, there's the research about how to, you find out those guys are researching how to get below the surface,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and they like talk about this lab, and because you have those I thought once I figured out what was going on, the like little stones that let you see other parts of the solar system.
Yeah, those were
You
so
can
confusing at
see
first.
you can see a little lab with little tornadoes, and Abby and I were both convinced that we were going to be able to turn the tornadoes off.
Ah.
We were like, "Oh shit, it's like a control room."
They
And so
made the
we
tornadoes.
desperately tried to find it. And then once we did, we're like, "Oh, well, that's cool too, I guess." I think the thing you're on now also was really cool.
Yeah, see, I
one of
did
my
this
favorite
in my
parts.
first attempt of my playthrough, and then I never came back, so it's still not checked off in the
Oh, yeah.
ship's computer. We didn't mention that, but the ship computer keeps track of all your thing, and like a little it's like a blackboard with the red yarn on it with all the different pictures of the bad guys connected
Yes.
together.
It's very helpful, but man, I wish you could access it when you weren't in your ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's like my biggest complaint about this game is that there's just a bunch of little quality of life stuff that I would have liked to have like we mentioned, like a quick save and like the ability to like move time forward,
Rewind
backwards
time or
a little
something,
bit.
yeah. I just want to say I really, really wish I had that because I would say about one run out of 4 that I do, I lose my ship somehow.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well,
Well, it's gone.
now.
Yeah, like even like just like a Forza Horizon style like time rewind thing where you could just go
Oh, I
back.
thought you were gonna say like map, like where every time you open up it says, "Hey, Mike."
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get that experience playing Forza?
No, because I'm not Mike, but
No, but it pulled my name out
You
of my
could be.
gamer tag. I'm assuming,
Oh, I think
or my first name maybe from my Xbox Live profile.
yeah.
But did it call you Eric, or
I
did
don't
it
think
call you Mike
so.
also?
No, I don't think it. I think it called me by my like the
Yeah,
name
it's
I
just that
picked
the
in the
game's
thing.
main character's name is Mikey.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Um, but yeah, I love the shit out of this game. I like to me this is like everything I like. This is the type of puzzle game that I like, where there
Yeah,
are no hard answers necessarily, and the information is just kind of out there. Um, you just have to go and look and poke at stuff and check things out.
It's really
And
cool. I just my personal level threshold for frustration is a
yeah,
little lower in this way.
yeah. Oh, there was definitely times like I mean, it probably took me 20 or 25 hours to find everything, and
It's a little longer than I would like it to be, I think.
yeah, well, because I think that if it takes you 20 or 25 hours, or like there's some people who said that it took them 30 plus. A lot of that time is spent like making such tiny incremental progress, and that's where like some tools that let you like move time around or something would like take the edge off of some of
right.
that stuff a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, or
But
no
man,
progress.
Yeah. Um,
it's like this. I mean, it reminds me of how I feel about Breath of the Wild. There's so many things I can point to where I'm like, this would be better if you did this, or if you fixed this thing.
yeah.
But I have such
There's
this
nothing else
evokes
like
such a strong
this.
feeling. Yeah, it's just like, man,
This is one of those video games that I desperately hope that people are paying attention to what
yeah,
happened, like how this works, and they make somebody with more money and um, more whatever has time to like
just
make
do
more
more.
of
Yeah,
these,
more things like
right, where
this.
you the point is just to look and to touch and to not necessarily to destroy or um, like bend the area to your will or whatever.
Right.
It makes me really sad that you didn't like Subnautica more, Eric, because I think that's the closest game I've played to this.
See, that game is nothing. Like I said, like Gone Home and Her Story are the more analogous to this than that, because that game is all like
I don't agree with you. I think that game is
collecting
full of stuff
shit
that
and
you.
like building stuff and getting new items that let you get into things and like
But
What?
like most of that happens in parallel to this world that exists on its own. It's full of things to explore.
yeah, but
The one
you
thing
can't
that
you
that
can't
game
just
gates
go
you
and play
by.
Subnautica. Yeah, I mean you could put it in the free mode, I guess, kind of, but then you still move slow because you don't have the shit that makes you move fast. Like you can't just play that game without engaging with the survival stuff.
You can turn off the survival parts. You do need to build things. I mean, I think playing the game
Right.
does involve building the different ships and things so that you can explore more.
Right. And that part of the game
Which
was so bad to
But I
me that
mean,
I
it's
didn't want to
just
play it.
yeah, it's just how they went about it because like there is the same kind of like, okay, I want this thing. How do I mean, some of
Also,
it's
that's
just
undersea, which
exploring.
is boring and sucks, and this is in outer space, which is dope and is cool and I love it. So,
I
underwater is the
I
only place that's cooler than space.
no,
I
that's objectively
I
wrong.
don't agree with that statement. However, I don't agree with the statement that underwater sucks either.
I mean, compared to outer space, it does. Especially when outer space is like this outer space, which is a tightly
Yeah.
compact solar system where fucking one planet. There's two planets that are tidally locked, and they have the sand that shoots out back and forth between them and changes how you can explore and interact with the thing. There's also like timing-based puzzles that are based on how far and low the sand is, and it's just a thing that
Right.
They're
fucking
really
happens.
cool, but also frustrating.
Yeah, but it's really cool.
I got crushed by that stupid sand like 4 times, and eventually it was just
Really, the
irritating.
sand was never a problem.
Yeah, I never really had a problem with the sand.
I got turned around in the cave sometimes, so like
Mm.
there are some places that if you want to get to, you have to make a real beeline from the start of each cycle. And so if you get mixed up, you know what I didn't realize at some point also was that there were quantum cacti.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe only in that one specific spot, but it took me a while to realize that some of the cacti would move if I just stopped looking at them, and so I assumed some paths were closed when maybe they weren't.
Yep.
But anyway, I want more. I want more
I
games like this.
see. I feel like I just like I could see where some of that would be frustrating, and I lucked into having the intended effect, which was I like would look at these cacti and be like, well, shit, maybe we've missed the path, and I'd like turn around again and it'd be gone. I'd be like, oh shit. Like I think that's what they wanted to have happen.
That's great, except if when you turn around and then before you can look back, you die because the sand smushed you.
Well, yeah, well there's
And
that.
then you're like, this isn't the way to go. I won't come back here for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But you can't. I mean, I know you can't really make a perfect puzzle game that never does that to people.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
realize it's impossible,
Right.
but I get frustrated maybe more easily than you do when it does happen to me.
Yeah, no, I mean there was never a time where I was frustrated enough where I was like, I have to stop playing this. But there were definitely times where I was like, God damn it, I just need
Brittle
just
Hollow.
some slightly better tools to get around.
Yeah, missing one jump on your way to the South Observatory in Brittle
Yes,
Hollow.
this
Is
fucking
such
South Observatory. Yeah, there's just a little too much
Yeah,
close platforming that I would like fuck it up, and then you fall in the black hole, and you're on the other side of space, and yeah.
this is
The
by
flip
And,
this
like,
side
Ash
is
Twin
to your
Ember
point about your
Twin
ship.
interaction is like the coolest thing I've ever seen in a video game.
Yeah, I agree.
it's very cool.
The way
And,
that
like,
the sand
realizing
transfers
as time
back
goes
and
by-
forth, and it's like one planet looks like there's nothing on it, and one looks super interesting, and then 15 minutes later, it's completely the opposite.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah,
No, like I said, there's some incredible visual stuff in this game that extremely memorable, and in a lot of ways, I do think it is like kind of an important game, like a game that's really original, really doing stuff away from where everyone else is these days.
Yeah.
It's not my game, but it's a really cool game.
It's one of those instances where I'm like, oh man, someone who wants to make a game for me made a game.
yep. This is
And
This
I want like
is.
yeah.
I like games where I can like walk around and look at stuff.
Yeah, if I just like check the box of a bunch of things I wanted to see in a game, this one has a lot of them.
Yeah, and like one of the big problems I have a lot of games where you walk around and look at stuff is that the walking is real slow. This game
Yes.
just gives you a
This game, you got a
jetpack and a
jetpack.
ship,
And-
and you
and-
can get around real fast, and the movement feels
Not
pretty
only
good for the
that-
most point. It's really good.
Not only that, but the way you go faster is like your little rocket boost,
Yeah,
which because this is also like a weird physicsy game and the
Mhm.
physics are different
Means
on every
all the
planet,
planets feel
like we
different.
said.
yeah,
They all feel different, but also it opens up the comedy factor a lot because there's a
Oh my
bunch
God.
of times where I just had a little too much momentum and went flying off into the sun or something.
Yep.
And it's like
Definitely.
it's always funny when you like hit a rock the wrong way and then like
your ship
you're
flies
suddenly
apart.
like being sucked into the sun and
Yeah.
you're like, well,
Like part of me really
see you on the
wishes
next
that you know the
cycle.
way the game takes screenshots of every cycle and then plays them back to you. I really wish the game would record like 3 seconds of footage for each of your deaths and then chain those all together
Yeah.
like a great montage
Man.
at the end of the game.
Man, after about 10 hours though, I really fucking wish that I could have skipped that little thing.
Yes,
You know,
it's annoying.
that makes
I
it.
assume
It's
that
not like a
loading the
long
game at that
time,
point.
even the longest ones, but it's still like. It just feels like okay.
I
I've
think
seen
I
this.
think it's loading.
Yeah, maybe. I feel it's
a
longer
Metroid
the
Prime
longer
door
you stay
transition.
alive, though.
A little bit, but like if you've only, like sometimes I died within let's say 30 seconds of starting, right?
Uh huh.
You set autopilot and you fly into the sun because you're not looking or something like that.
Forget to put your
And
suit
even
on.
then, like it takes maybe 10 seconds to play out. I just think that's because it's resetting everything to its original position. I don't know. Anyway, if you guys want to talk about the end of the game, I can duck out at this point and you can go hog wild on your know my theories.
I
yeah,
mean,
we can do that
the
for
game kind of
few
just tells
minutes.
you what happened at the end, or it's pretty obvious what's happening by the time you get to the end. So, yeah, well, I don't. We
So
can
you
talk.
don't
about
want
it
to
if you
talk
want.
to me? That's fine.
I don't. No, fuck off, Anthony.
No.
No, I don't care. We can if you want to. I don't care. I'm just saying.
I have maybe like 5 minutes
Okay.
of spoiler,
All right.
super spoilery
We
stuff.
can do that then. We'll say goodbye to Mike.
Alright, then I'll drop out and I'll see you guys from a place with a better climate.
If things go well for you, Mike, you probably ought to be able to finish this in like an hour and a half or so.
We'll see. Yeah, I've got a couple ideas, things to check out at this point, so maybe I'll have some time tomorrow.
And if you feel like you're done with it, don't feel bad about looking up the end sequence because it's kind of a pain in the ass. And
yeah,
even once I
wanna
figured it out, it took me
try-
like 2 hours because I kept screwing it up because I was so impatient because I was so excited to get to the end.
Well,
Yep.
because part of that involves going through the bramble again, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about this as soon as Mike gets off. How I fucked up once, though I may have told you this.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you guys
All
later.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
Mike.
So I put in the coordinates incorrectly, and then but there's a different teleporter that teleports you just to outside the ship.
Yep.
Outside, and I like walked into it, and then literally the sun exploded as I put in the coordinates correctly when I figured it out.
Nice.
I was so mad
I
because I'd
never
done the
got
whole
that
damn
far, but I
sequence.
got ate by the fish a lot.
Yeah, that happened. Well, so I made it past the fish that first time,
Yeah.
and then I've got eaten by the fish like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't do you any favors to be impatient when you're trying to do that end game sequence.
No, it doesn't. And once you fuck it up once, you're just like,
yeah,
I was so
I
close,
just
and
don't
then you
want to
get
have to
more
do this
impatient,
again,
and it's
and then I'm
yeah.
rushing, and then it's getting worse and worse every time.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. What did you think of the ending?
I didn't really like it.
Okay. The ending or the end sequence or the whole thing?
The end, the whole metaphysical end sequence, like it's just like the whole like wandering through the forest, and you meet all the people, and like that just like
See,
that kind of
that
stuff
I really
doesn't.
liked. I liked finding them by the sound of their instruments and having them play the song. And
I liked the song. It was a little weird because like I'm fairly certain this is just like
I liked the weird little puzzle things that you had to do to figure it out.
yeah, like
Use your
some of it was
quantum
okay. It just
training
felt
to.
it was almost like, I mean, you know, for a game that's about time loops and aliens and space and all that, like it felt like
It's really
this
about the
was
connections that you make with the
grounded in
people.
reality, quote unquote, and then that one was like totally bonkers, like you never know what's gonna happen next, and an anglerfish is gonna fly out of the forest, and like it was just
Look,
kind of
man,
like
when you're going into the eye of the universe to push the reset button on the entire universe, some weird trippy shit's gonna happen. That's all.
like I was really expecting to find another Nomai there.
You're in the base of the simulation, man. No, Nomai. They didn't make it. They all died
Yeah,
in
I
the
know.
attempt.
But, yeah, I mean I know that, but I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting exactly, but I don't know. That was just
Yeah.
it didn't feel like the rest of the game, I guess, is the.
I-
But I did also like I did like the part where they all played the music.
It felt really good.
In spite of all that, it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was fine with it. I didn't really. For me, a thing like this is definitely like I wasn't trying to get to the end. Mostly, I was just sad because there was no more cool shit to go and look at and kind of.
Oh yeah, well
around
that's
at.
why I wanted it. That's why I was hoping there was a Nomai or something there, because I wanted to learn something new.
Yeah.
Still.
Like, what else can I do in this weird little puzzle box?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there was nothing left. And
I did, to our discussion earlier, I like that they actually. Well, they don't tell you why the sun explodes.
right,
Other than they're telling you that suns explode.
right. Well, the universe is just. This
universe
is
is,
the
like,
end.
going
The
out.
universe is dead, and so you have to yell
But
your mother's
liked-
name to save the never-ending story or whatever. That's basically
Right,
the end
right,
of this
right.
game. Yeah.
But it was I liked
Which I still don't know what that is.
when I was thinking.
We never could. We listened to it
yeah.
a million times. I could never figure out what the name was.
Bramble. I did like though that I was like, but why was the sun exploding if they fired the thing into it and it didn't work?
Right.
I'm like, was there a delay? Like what? And then I realized, oh, the universe is dying, and so all the suns are
All
exploding.
of the suns are exploding.
So all of them are. So
Yeah.
whenever yours does,
Yeah.
it explodes, which set off this 22-minute sequence.
Right.
And that's why the time loop is happening.
Right. That's literally the
Because-
only reason that the universe gets to continue is because of the Nomai's curiosity about the eye of the
Yeah,
universe.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like that was
That's pretty cool.
also kind of a thing where the game doesn't say that bit. I had to figure that. I had to
Yeah.
think about that part. And I really like that.
Yeah. Hey man, video games that make you think.
It's good.
It is good.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah. It's just like I said, it's just like a weird little puzzle box that
Mm-hmm.
there's been
And everything points to everything.
yeah.
And
There's been a lot of games
it's
like
all
this. Like I said, the feeling I get is from most similar to like Gone Home or Her Story, or there's some other games that are similar to that where they just give you a pile of information and then you have to figure out what to do with it. And the answer is never get stronger. The answer is never like mine this shit for resources to build your empire bigger. The answer is never to like find the big gun to shoot the guy. The answer is just to like explore and think and exist in the space.
Yeah, I would say
just that.
I would say like
that feels very profound for video games because that's not a thing that video games strive to do very often.
Right. I mean, that's how I was.
Never gonna
I mean,
land on
that's
the
why I
Sun
set
Station.
everything else aside and picked this up because it was described to me as that, and there's no weapons.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, a sci-fi game where you don't shoot anything? Cool.
Which, hey, you know, I like shooting dudes with guns as much as the next guy. That Doom game's coming out pretty soon. I'm pretty fucking excited for it.
But that's not all you want to do.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to fly in the sun a bunch of times and try and land on the Sun Station.
Right. By the way, the station that explodes outside of Giant's Deep.
Yeah.
I think I watched that happen like at least for 5 hours in the game before I realized it was a thing exploding.
Oh, really?
Like I thought it was a graphical, like it was like a flash because you were waking up again.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was an actual thing, and then that's when we went and explored it because I was like,
better go see what that
hey,
is.
is something exploding? And we were like, oh shit, let's go see what that is.
That thing that's
I also
orbiting
do
the
like
Giant's Deep.
Yeah. I also like that there's a point in the game where I realize there's this, like I have some of the pieces and I kind of figure out like why. That was actually interesting to me, is because we found the what do you call it, the Ash Twin project relatively early.
I missed again. Yes.
Well, you spoiled it for me. I'm watching. Oh, yep, there it goes. Because we found that early, I had sort of known kind of that whole bit of the game, I think, way sooner than other people.
Mm-hmm.
But that sort of colored everything else. It was like I didn't realize that was like the penultimate, like what they were trying to achieve.
Yeah. The thing about the Nomai is they're fucking crazy. They tried to blow up the sun. They tried to blow up the sun.
I appreciated
because of their
that there was
obsession with the thing that they weren't sure what it was or why it existed.
But I appreciate that there was an actual moral discussion between them, and that they also like very much. It said a lot about their culture that they're like, we don't want to like mess up these things that might evolve.
But
like
we gotta blow up this.
But also, sun. We're gonna blow up the sun because we have to know.
Yeah, it's fine though because we'll go back in time and fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then instead they decided to go back in time a million times because there was not enough time in the universe to find the thing. So instead they made a time loop and made some poor Nomai exist on that station shooting those.
Right.
That was the thing. The thing that I would most want to do, I guess, is like because I assume that is what the other statue is, right? That's the assumption you made, is that the other thing that is looped into the statues is the Nomai that's on that station shooting the probe over and over and over again.
No, that was not my assumption.
Well, who do you think it is?
I think it's just the it's the thing that collects the probe data in the center of Giant's Deep. Because there's the other half of that statue is there. It's all lit up. It's in there.
Oh, is it?
And that's why that data is persistent across the time loops.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the one.
I liked yours. Yours is way more tragic.
I thought that was the one that what's his face bumped into, but maybe there's another statue on Giant's Deep.
No, his is on Giant's. Yeah, there's inside the little station that's in the center of the planet
Yeah.
is another statue.
Okay.
And I think it's just the computer that's collecting that data,
Okay.
because otherwise the data would just reset when the time loop set.
It's just an automatic process.
Yeah.
But then I thought
So
they
every
were
time,
for like sentient beings and not computers. But I guess I don't know how they work.
I mean, yeah, that was my assumption, was that's how the computer, because otherwise you'd fire a probe in a random direction, and if it didn't find it,
Right.
the time loop would happen, and you would have no knowledge of whether that happened.
Well, I mean, I have a computer on my ship that works like that. That doesn't have a.
I
tied-in
guess
probe.
that's true. Maybe it's your computer
Right.
connected to your guy.
Right. So that's the computer of the guy that's on the thing that's shooting the thing over and over
Okay.
again.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, if they had like a Know My Body in that wreckage or something,
Yeah.
that would.
That would be a dead
I felt
giveaway.
really bad for the moon guy.
Well, I mean, he's there in his own time, though, right?
I like that he's like, I feel like I might be dead, and then most of the times you can find his body.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they
It's
exist,
really good.
like the things that are on the moon exist at all times simultaneously because it's a quantum object.
Yeah, exactly. So when it's orbiting, is there an achievement for getting on it this way?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Huh.
It's just so fucking fast.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I'm always thrown off by how much the gravity.
Yeah, the
Of
sun
the
sucks
sun
you right
pulls
in.
it off.
I mean, it should, like, that's one of the biggest cheats in this game is that, like, gravity is a tiny fraction of what it should be in all cases. Except on
Yeah.
Giants Deep, where they don't want you to use the jetpack. But anyway. Alright, this is it. This is my last try. Oh, alright. I'm going to try and stay on this orbit and at least hit it. That's my goal.
Just slow it down.
Yeah. No, I'm getting too far away now. I'm gonna have to ground pound this bitch like Mario. It's the only way.
I hadn't realized some of the other things Mike was saying about talking to people, but I do like, after your autopilot flies you into the sun,
Yeah.
you can yell at that guy that you wake up next to.
Yeah. Hey man, your autopilot fucking killed me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Outer Wilds.
It's really good.
I was kind of hoping Kurt would come back at some point.
He just said maybe in a few minutes.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
No, like just now he said that.
Oh.
I don't think he'll be here in time.
Yeah.
Since I'm gonna go.
I think I'm pretty much toast. It's too late. It's too hot.
Yeah.
Outside.
It is very hot. Well, that was Outer Wilds. Now, we should have done this in 22-minute segments.
Yeah, we should have made it one. I didn't think it would go that long, honestly. But there's a lot of stuff to explore.
I really like that.
I also
game.
wish we had done it like a month and a half ago when I finished it.
Well, yeah, me too. If I'd known Mike was gonna not love it, then I would have not waited
Fuck
for him.
Mike.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's a dumbass. Wait, is the stream still on? Anyway.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, we'll be back next week with something else.
Yep, something not as good as this.
No, probably not. It's going to be hard for me to find something that comes out this year, I think, that I liked as much as Outer Wilds.
Same. I think. I mean, you guys said it was a little long, but I think if it had been.
It's not that it's too long. It's just that there's a little bit too much downtime, I think, sometimes. But it's such a. It's kind of the nature of the beast. Like, either you're okay with it
There's
and
no
you
way...
can keep playing the game, or you're not okay with it and then you kind of can't play the game.
Right.
Like I said, the only way
I think
is
if it had been a lot longer,
yeah,
I think I could have. I don't know. Not. Wow. I think I could have gotten tired of it or liked it less.
Yeah.
But it was a good length.
But also the writing is really good, and all the planets
It's
are
really
so fucking. There's so many fucking cool little things on each planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But it's not a frog
Everyone
suit.
should buy this game because it's good.
Yeah. Or a fat chocobo. So. Anyway.
That's true.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.